Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please click on the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Hey guys, in this session we are going to look at Docker components, the various parts that your Docker consists of. So in the last session we looked at the Docker architecture. So there we looked at your Docker client, Docker daemon, Docker registry. In addition to that, we have few more components. So we will be covering the components that we covered in the last class, and in addition to that we will also look at few other components that your Docker consists of. So your Docker consists of many components that makes up for your Docker. So it consists of a Docker daemon, which is your long running program that is always running in the background. Then it consists of a Docker client, which is your CLI, and this is what we use to work with the Docker. And then it consists of your Docker images. So Docker images are your read-only template that tells you what should be contained within your container, or how your container should be created. Then we'll have the Docker containers. So whenever we execute the images, we get the containers, and then we have the Docker registry, which is your Docker hub, and then finally we have the Docker services. So let's look at these components a little more in detail. So the first we have is a Docker daemon. Now the Docker daemon, it is also known as your Docker D. Now what this Docker daemon does is it listens for the API calls or your API request. So in the last session I told you that your Docker client and your Docker daemon, the communication between them is done by your REST API, which acts as an interface. So this Docker daemon will listen for the API requests, and it helps you to manage your images, your containers, your networks, and your volumes. So all your main work, like creating your images, creating your containers, creating your volumes or your networks, everything is done by your Docker daemon. Also, your Docker daemon can communicate with other daemons to manage the Docker services. That is, one machine, Docker installed in one machine can communicate with daemons that are installed on other machines. So this is how you will have the daemon. So daemon will help you to create your images, then run those as containers. It also helps you to create your volumes and your networks. The next component we have is your Docker client. So Docker client is the CLI, known as your command line interface, and this is the primary way that we use to interact with the Docker. So all the commands that we want to run with your Docker, we do it by using this Docker client. So whenever we run your commands such as your Docker run or your Docker pull, these commands will be passed on to your Docker daemon, which is your Docker D, and the Docker daemon will carry those command for you, or it will execute those commands for you. The Docker command uses the Docker API, and again the Docker client can also communicate with more than one daemon. That is, one machine can talk to another machine. So this is what you will have. So Docker client, you can make use of this to run your commands like Docker build, Docker pull, Docker run, and so on. The next component we have is a Docker images. Now Docker image is a read-only template. So this template will contain the instructions that will be needed to create your containers. Now often this image is based out of another image. That is, we use a base image, we customize that image, and we create a newer image out of that. For example, you may build an image which is based on the Ubuntu image. That is, you can use your Ubuntu as the base image, and you can customize that. Like, you can install Apache server on that. You can deploy your applications as well as configuration details needed to make your application run. And out of these customizations, you can create a new image. But remember, this will be a read-only template. It will only contain the instructions. So this is what you will have. So by using this Docker images, you can create your images that will be used to run your containers. Next, we have the Docker containers. So whenever we execute the Docker image, we get the Docker containers. So Docker container is the executed form or the running instance of your image. Now this container can be started, it can be stopped, it can be moved, it can be deleted using the Docker CLI or your Docker API. You can connect a container to more than one networks, attach storage to it, or even create a new container based on its current state. So you'll have the images, and out of those images you will create the containers. The next component we have is the Docker registry. Now Docker registry is your online repository where your Docker images will be stored. So examples can be your Docker Hub and your Docker Cloud. Now these two are your public registries that anybody can use, and all the images that are present on this, anybody can use them. Now Docker is configured to look on the public repositories by default. That is, whenever we run the Docker command, it will look on the Docker Hub by default. You also have the option of running your own private registry. So when you run commands such as your Docker pull or Docker run, the required image can be pulled from your configured registry. And likewise, when you push the images, you can push it to your configured registry. But if you're not using private registries, by default, all the push and pull will be in your Docker Hub. So Docker Hub will contain all the images, and we can start downloading them. You can also create your own repository, and you can start pushing your own custom images. Later classes we will see how you can create your own custom images and push it to the Docker Hub. Now the last component we have is your Docker services. Now Docker services helps you to run the master slave architecture in Docker. In Docker, this master slave architecture, it is known as your manager and worker configuration. So it helps you to run multiple containers. Now this Docker services, it is also known as your Docker Swarm. So you may also see something known as Docker Swarm. It is also known as Docker services. So services allows you to scale your containers across multiple machines, which all work together as a swarm with multiple managers and workers. Now each member of the swarm will have a Docker daemon, and these daemons will communicate using the REST API. So a service allows you to define the state desired, such as the number of replicas of the service that must be available at any given time. By default, the service is load balanced across all worker nodes. So you have the option of specifying how many containers you want to run across the worker nodes, but by default it will load balance, or it will balance the load across the worker nodes. So whenever you want to run your containers across multiple machines, we make use of your Docker services. And again, it is also known as your Docker Swarm. So you may hear me every now and then talking or using the word Docker Swarm for your master slave configuration. So that's all I have for this session. In the next session, we will look at the installation of your Docker. So we will cover a variety of Linux distributions, and we will also look at installing Docker on your Windows machine. So that's all. I will see you in the next session.